I wanted to talk about North Korea a little bit too, and then I'll pick up your calls. It being Anything Goes Friday, but the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un issued a statement in response to Donald Trump's UN speech in which he called him Rocket Man and said that he was on a suicide mission. I talked about this, I think it was day before yesterday, at some length about the idea that North Korea is not evangelical, whereas the old Soviet communists were aggressively evangelical, turned the entire world into us. Nazis, the Nazism, was extremely evangelical. The Americanism is extremely evangelical. Many of these, and this is just, political evangelism. But North Korea has basically just been saying, leave us alone and let us be a functioning country. So, there is one school of thought that says that Kim is a crazy man who wants to start a war. I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to that. Why would he want to do that? He's living a life of luxury. He's got all his wealth and power. He doesn't want his country to be leveled. The destruction of North Korea during the Korean War in the around 1950 was unbelievable. I mean, it was just Pyongyang, the capital city, was more than 90% destroyed. It was just extraordinary. And he doesn't want to go back to that. He doesn't want that. What he's trying to do is prevent his country from being Iraq. This all goes back to George W. Bush and that stupid speech that David Frum wrote for him in which he called North Korea, Iran, and Iraq the axis of evil. And, Iraq, Saddam Hussein, he said, hey, I'm not evil. Bring in your inspectors. Send in Hans Blix. Everything's fine. I got no weapons of mass destruction. It's all good. We're going to be a nice neighbor. And, of course, we killed him. And so Iran and North Korea looking at that said, well, wait a minute. We're not going to let that happen to us. And we got to get a nuke. And so we've got now this deal with Iran to freeze their nuke. And North Korea, of course, is building their nuke. But I think it's important that we actually listen to what Kim Jong-un has to say. And I realize that that kind of thoughtful analysis of what's going on in the world is not popular generally in American journalism or American popular media, that it's people would much rather make fun of Kim or ridicule him or whatever. But there's some serious stuff here. And so I just wanted to share with you the actual speech. That Kim Jong-un wrote or spoke. This is just so you know, right? Because the media is not going to tell you. He said, the speech made by the U.S. president in his maiden address on the UN arena in the prevailing serious circumstances in which the situation in the Korean peninsula has been rendered tense as never before and is inching closer to a touch-and-go state, is arousing worldwide concern. Shaping the general idea of what he would say, I expected, now keep in mind, this is Kim Jong-un talking about Donald Trump's speech at the UN. Shaping the general idea of what he would say, I expected he would make stereotyped, prepared remarks a little different from what he used to utter in his office on the spur of the moment as he had to speak on the world's biggest official diplomatic stage. But far from making remarks of any persuasive power that could be viewed to be helpful by diffusing tension, he made unprecedented, rude nonsense no one has ever heard from any of his predecessors. A frightened dog barks louder. I would like to advise Trump to exercise prudence in selecting words and to be considerate of whom he speaks to when making a speech in front of the world. See, as I keep saying, what they want is safety and respect, essentially. Back to Kim. Back to what Kim had to say. The mentally deranged behavior of the U.S. president openly expressing on the UN arena the unethical will to, quote, totally destroy a sovereign state, beyond the boundary of threats of regime change or overturn of social system, makes even those with normal thinking faculty think about discretion and composure His remarks remind me of such words as political layman and political heretic, which were in vogue in reference to Trump during his presidential election campaign. After taking office, though, Trump has rendered the world restless through threats and blackmail against all countries of the world. He is unfit to hold the prerogative of supreme command of a country, and he is surely a rogue and a gangster, fond of playing with fire rather than a politician. His remarks, which describe the U.S. option through straightforward expression of his will, have convinced me, rather than frightening or stopping me, that the path I chose is correct and that it is the one I will have to follow to the last. Now that Trump has denied the existence of and insulted me and my country, keep in mind, Trump did not say Kim Jong-un, he said Rocket Man. Now that Trump has denied the existence of and insulted me and my country in front of the eyes of the world and made the most ferocious declaration of a war in history, that he would destroy the DPRK, North Korea, we will consider with seriousness exercising of a corresponding highest level of hardline countermeasure, the highest level of hardline countermeasure in history. Action is the best option in treating a dotard who, hard of hearing, is uttering only what he wants to say. As a man representing North Korea and on behalf of the dignity and honor of my state and people and of my own, I will make the man holding the prerogative of the supreme command of the U.S. pay dearly for his speech calling for totally destroying my country. This is not a rhetorical expression loved by Trump. I am now thinking hard about what response he could have expected when he allowed such eccentric words to trip off his tongue. Whatever Trump might have expected, he will face results beyond his expectation. I will surely and definitely tame. Hang on just a second.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
The last sentence from King Jong, I will surely and definitely tame the mentally deranged U.S. dotard with fire.